Hello, good afternoon. First time ever. I'm with the lovely Anthea from Quilting Antics. When I remember going back, not having a diss here, but I always used to watch from afar across the studio and be enthralled by this lady's work and the amount of work we've got here. So we've got a small snippet of it today. I am so pleased that with this lady. When I saw my name now, I was like, yeah, get in. So we're going to be able to go through and pick this lady's brain for all the wonderful techniques that she's going to show you with these wonderful collections. We decided on that name, but I know, like you, I am overawed with all this. Anthea, what is it that you love about this?
Well,
seriously, what is it?
I love faffing about to start with.
Right, I faff, yeah. I bet everybody else does.
Do you know what? I started crafting. Well, I've always crafted, and there's if you asked me for my history, I'd give you like one version. But really, as an adult, so when I had kids, I had really bad postnatal depression, like almost to the stage, not quite, but almost at stage of lock you up kind of thing. Right. And crafting was my salvation, because when you craft, you've got to take everything out of your head and park it, and you just craft, and you just be in your own little thing, don't you? And you know, I haven't ever said that on screen before.
I wonder why you're saying
You've got
it
some
now.
exclusive information.
No, but
no, it's not a secret, because I actually think mental health should be talked about. But
I'm with you there.
Yeah, but crafting, you know.
This is what helps you through it. It helped me through it. And I think there's a lot of people not out there who maybe feel on their own, but crafting brings us together as a community. I really think that you've got these collections, right? So if you're in one day, you're a bit down, you pick up a collection. Yeah. If you're not in the mood for that, you can go to the potting shed. And I love these because there's something here for everybody and for every mood that you're in. And I just love the fact that you can actually hand stitch some of these, because I would. And then you can actually use your machine as well. Do you mind if I have a quick look, let everybody know? Right, we've got four collections, but the thing is, you need to know how to buy. So if you've got a massive telly, you can watch us on YouTube as well as all the other things. But what you need to do is you need to go to one of the website, the Insta or Facebook, and then you'll see the comments. And what you need to do is shop, and then it'll put the code in. I'll give you the code, put that into your basket, it drops in, and it sends a message. Now, this message goes to your inbox, right? And then whatever social media you're on. And then that goes to a cart. But before that cart is, you know, before you pay, what you need to do is become a member of Highlight Crafts, because that'll give you an extra 10%. So that 10% will take the prices down even more, as if you need any more of these, but it takes it down. And you also, if it's over £35, you get free P&P and stuff like that, and you get points. So what are these? These are collections. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of both, but the real brains behind this will be telling you a bit more. So the first one we're looking at is, I love this, Code Etch. Right? And this is etched on my art. Now, I was looking at this. You said there was how many in there? 4.
Well, there's 5 in this one.
5. So when we say collections, don't be misled by one little thing. There's 5 separate things in here, which all can be mixed and matched with the other. So that is etched on my art, Code Etch. I'll quickly go through it, and then can we go into it then?
Yeah, of course we can.
Yeah. The Greatest Show. So that is code, let me get it right, Great. Right, I'll go through prices with you, but look how many you're getting on that. That's crazy. So you're getting a full collection, and we mean a collection. It's like the full set there. So we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 we said, didn't we? Yeah. I remember. So the next one is Potting Shed. I'll revisit, but give you prices. Potting Shed, this is massive. And it's this again, right, is 9 projects. Again. Now, when we look at these projects, they're £8.50 each normally on your website. Yeah. So what you're doing is you're getting 8 times 9 there. £8.50 times 9. So that, when I tell you a price, you won't believe it. Then the last one is Once Upon a Time, Quilting Antics. And then we've got, there was more in here. Well,
that's a whole quilt, but then we've got a couple of projects that are chucked in as a bonus.
Yeah, so it's like the full thing, but then we'd have all the added extras. So let's go back to the beginning. Quilt Etch, right? So this one, right, how much? You're not going to believe this. It is. I've got it on my notes and I've written it all down. This is $15.99. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times £8.50, $15.99. And this is basically, we said everything. What was this one? I've got it here. Oh, I know. This was all about Yorkshire and about all these wonderful places.
Yeah.
Look. It's about, I said straight away, Whitby Abbey. It's not, it's Bolton Abbey. But look at this, could be anywhere. That could be Stockport Viaduct. Look at the cafe. And if you don't know Settle, forget it. But it's in a naked man. It's not what she does. And you got to know that, Howard. So this one, Etched on My Heart, is beautiful. You can do all that in everything. I'm going to be get annoyed in a minute because I won't be able to say it all. I'll just get off.
You're getting a bit excited.
So this one is The Greatest Show, code Greatest Show Great, and that one is 9, and this comes at $24.99. 9 projects, $24.99. So that's £8.50 times 9. Then the next one is The Potting Shed, and we've got that. The code is, I have to keep pulling all my codes out. I'm still, stabilisers are rubbish. The Potting Shed, and we go for shed, $24.99. And last but not least is the full quilt with all the added extras. And this one is Time, and that's $24.99. Now these are amazing. Now the thing I love about these is they're all, the way they're printed and things are over 2 sheets. There's a couple that are printed down to A4, which is for your ease. But Anthea will go through that a little bit more. I just want to give you all details. So we're looking at different ones. So the first one, Etched on My Heart, is all about like precious memories. The second one is all to do with, I've put here, it's show stuff, and you've put stuff for your room, isn't it?
Yeah, so your sewing room.
Sewing room.
So if you want to make things just for you, pure indulgence.
Absolutely.
On a circus theme.
Woohoo! As we've got there. Potting shed is for everybody. I know this. Gardening, stuff like that. But it doesn't just have to be gardening. I see some journal covers up there, which is, for everybody. Ooh. And then Once Upon a Time. Well, I think I was looking at this and I thought this suits everything because you can tell a story, you can do learning aids, and this wonderful quilt. So
and you don't have to make a quilt, you could just do it in separate bits.
But that's the idea of having it all in one place, and you can just go to it. And then, so we've got one at $15.99 and the rest at $24.99. And when you think of how much, I went to say before that I was going to add it all up, but I lost count and kept pressing the wrong button. So I am so chuffed that I made. So Anthea, can you just tell us how you sort of get a collection together and what you want us to know?
Right. So do you know what? In the last 24 hours, so many people have asked me that, and I've never really been asked it before.
Really?
Yeah. So we did a live yesterday, and that question came up, and I'm like, no one's ever asked me. So the gist of it is, so we work through the year. We work, depends what month obviously, we're in January now. We aren't designing for January. We're thinking more March, April at the least by this point. So what's going on in the calendar? So by March, for instance, you're starting to think about your garden. Certainly April, May you are. So things like potting shed, right, well, we've got somewhere to hang this from. So what we're going to do, and then we need a set of projects to go on. So in our collections, it does vary, horses for courses, but you might get a pair of cushions. We like them to be friends. Each end at settee, and they've got to face each other, haven't they? So you usually get a pair of cushions and then a bag. But we don't want to do, another tote bag, You've got to try and, we've done a tote bag. Right, well, if we're going to do another one, we need to make it different. We need to put a different closure on it, whatever. So we might do that. So then we're on to garden. Right, what are we going to do for the garden? Well, let's have a journal and let's think about, because you write down, don't you, what you've planted when. We've got a barbecue tool roll.
I can see that for my paintbrushes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It doesn't have to be for your barbecue stuff. But let me just open this out.
Do you know what? Can I just mention that most of the things you're seeing, the uniqueness about Anthea's wonderful products is she works mainly in wool, but you don't have to. You can use all these patterns in all the materials that you've got. So it's a bit of a stash buster if you want, and the applique is. But this, what we're showing you now, is in wonderful wool.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so we use wool, but you don't have to.
No, you
but
don't.
Like, just hold the end of that.
Look at
so
that.
we've done that. That is.
That's the iron.
It is. It's Luminex. Okay. So we were doing this for your barbecue stuff. What if it's hot? Well, Luminex, and then it's not going to, spoil it. But it wipes, doesn't it? So if you're using it for your artist brushes, whatever, you just, where the pockets divide, you just put more divides in.
I've got a soldering iron which I use, and a pyrography tool,
Okay.
and my what's it called? The foiling pen.
Yeah.
I'm not worried now about putting them in there too hot.
Exactly. Because if you just did like cotton, you'd be making a new one every month. Now then, if you just hold that
But that's a really good
you said
size.
a second ago, stash busting, and you put it to applique. Right, let me just show you this.
Oh, look at
We're still stash busting, because what if you haven't got a big piece of fabric that'll do that? And don't forget, we use wool, you don't have to. Join up what you've got to make a new piece of fabric.
But you've got patterns like that in some of these patterns.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
do these patterns all work with each other?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah.
you've
Mix
not
them, match them.
You've not got 4 collections with 9 and 5 and that.
No, you've got.
You could count them, could you?
So let's keep the maths simple. If there's 10 projects and there's 10 sets of applique, it's 10 times 10. It's 100, potentially 100 different things to do, isn't it? Because the limit is your imagination.
And how can we do the angel policy? Have we got one?
Yeah. So the only thing that you're not to do is like be reproducing them for sale.
That makes sense.
But if you're going to make something, sell it, just make sure you get a good lot of money for it.
Yeah,
Don't be giving your work away.
No, and I think that's a really good point, because you're putting the work
Shall I
into
put
this.
that away?
So you can then go away and sell whatever
That's right,
you
yeah.
make. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Now that's good, because that way you're getting the sort of hand to help make ideas and make it, and then you can...
So like now, for instance, and I know we craft all year long, and we hoard things, we stash things. So if you're doing your summer fairs and you're making now, just, get something that's like now, but think about when you're going to sell it, make your colours suit that time. Like a lot of us would start making now, thinking Christmas. Because we're crafters, and Christmas is like our main thing. So, you might want to change that into something that's more pertinent to that time of the year, whenever you're going to sell.
But that boot, you could actually, you think about it, guys, you could actually put like snow on that boot. Yeah. And it'd be a Christmas one if you wanted. There's
well,
so
when we
many
get to demo,
things.
I've got a couple of different things, and we can see how these will mix and match. So we can have a look at that when we get to that point. So it's a cushion. It's the potting shed was the name of the collection, so we called that potting shed.
It's perfect.
That is bits and bobs of what you've got left. Because if you've only got black, why don't you do a black wheelbarrow and just put some stitchery on, or some fabric paint or whatever, decorate it up. I'm thinking like barge painting, where you just not like a proper flower, you just zhuzh with your brushes and stuff.
What you're doing here is I draw, do all that. You're using the machine needle to draw with, aren't you?
Exactly. And I said to Mel earlier, so like here we've got like bits of stitchery. So if I was doing this for me, this would be, I don't know, I might, because we've used this as like a shelf, I might be doing ivy, like a bunting of ivy or something.
Good idea.
And all the rest. But if you don't like hand stitching, or you've got arthritic hands, any reason that you don't like hand stitching, Sue here has used machine stitch.
Absolutely.
So just depending what weight thread you use, blah, 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 because we know we can do all of it. Just do the whole lot in stitch, add some little buttons on there, some beads for your flowers instead of embroidering. We've given you the basics. It's now up to you where you take it onto.
Right, so this one would be potting shed.
Yeah.
So the code for this one would be shed, and this is, $24.99 for the whole collection, but believe you me, there's more in it. So shall we just do question 1? Ooh. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Right, you ready for this? Right? So, question 1. Mount Rushmore is located in which US state? South. And it's also a first name I've heard, so I'm not saying any more than that. So, Mount Rushmore is located in which US state? South. So just before we move on, people might be looking and thinking, well, what is actually in these books?
Right.
Would you be able to show us first?
Yeah, let's have a look. Are we better opening it out at the end?
Yeah, can we move over here so we can see?
So you've got here, I give you photographs of everything there. So you've got the whole lot. And then you get your drawings and...
Just nick this.
Oh, sorry.
Somebody's asked us a question.
Let me just pass it down to
Oh,
you.
you're a star.
There you go.
I was trying to do that, so slick.
So
that was not
For
slick.
instance, for this particular one, we've given you the drawings, but we've given you them in multiple sizes. So you can do what you want.
So these are all sort of similar, but you can change and make a whole bouquet.
Yeah. But in this particular one, let me find where I'm going. We have given you, you can never find it when you want it, can you, stuff. We've given you loads and loads of bonus extra drawings. So that's the potting shed. Look, and then we did something that's a lot more simple. Now that never made it to a design.
Why?
Well, because we just didn't have time. We'd done enough.
That shows you though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's so many things that even you haven't done it.
But we put this in because, if you don't feel that sometimes you just don't feel like you're an artist and you might want to do something like you would do at primary school.
Yeah.
Or it might be for somebody that's at primary school and you don't want to be sophisticated. Look at these. These never got made. You've 3 different sizes.
But you've got all these lines that allow someone either to draw it on or stitch it on.
Yeah, it's just a fence and a wheelbarrow in front of it. But it's magnificent. All these flowers. Now, you could do them white and they'd be daisies. You could do them red or yellow and they'd be chrysanthemums.
Would you be able to show us how you sort of put these together later on? Not now, because we need to see.
So there's loads of that kind of thing.
So that's just in one collection.
You've got beehives and we've never done a beehive project.
I'm trying to answer this question, but I don't know how to do
it. There's hundreds, well, I say hundreds, I'm not going to put a number on it. There's lots of different inspiration in this, as well as the projects here. I mean, Sonny Jim, let me just bring him in. Sonny Jim was done. Now, he doesn't display well in your hand because his petals need to be against, let's say, a wall. But Sonny Jim was done as a height chart, so I've left you the instructions in. But when I was, oh my gosh, the first time I ever showed him on TV, my pole was too long and it went over the top of the set.
So it was
I had
for
to get
taller
someone in
people.
tech to cut it down. But yeah, it was too much to thing. So fabric-wise though, I say we use wool, you don't have to. Any suitable fabric, and why I say suitable is, you might not get good results if you're using crinkly, stretchy stuff. Let's keep it to cotton and any cotton.
Do you need to stabilise it or anything like that?
I think it depends on the weight of what you're using. Right. So we don't really stabilise the wool. It's a good chunky, robust thing. If you're using a cotton, there's several weights. So if you're going for like a polycotton, not a polycotton, a poplin, you might have to put something behind because your fabric's lighter. But I think you would instinctively know that. And do you know what? Always have a little trial on a scrap first. We always do that. I
can't tell how many people how important that is to try it before, because it's only a little scrap of piece, whatever it is, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what we do a lot of. We mock things up using calico. So, I mean, calico, then if it's not the same way, it's what you're going to use. But, all horses for courses, you get the gist of it. We're not daft, are we? We know what we're doing.
But a mock-up shows you how it will react.
Yeah, a lot of times, I'll just shove this back over here. Oh, so I'll place gently. I need to get away from shoving stuff about. But yeah, we're northern lasses, so we shove things.
Well, I shove there and over there. So this is the first collection.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you said, yourself, you cannot say that you've done it all because there's that much in here.
Yeah, there's loads that we haven't done in there.
And look at this. This is brilliant. I mean, 3 sizes. And that's great because I always remember with Stephanie, she said, when I'm buying something, I need to know the 3 uses. Well, you've got 3 sizes, so you don't need to. And look at, see, some of these are here.
And all these mix and match. So we made this... this runner, this was actually made for my bed. It's never actually got there.
I was going to say, you've not got a big bed though, have you?
English paper piecing with wool. So that's how we did that.
And this is a mix because I can feel cotton here.
Exactly.
And I can see watercolour.
So we wanted to do something quite muted, but then when we did something muted, I didn't have, because wool doesn't really come in white,
Right.
and I wanted to do some clematis, you know, like a clematis montana that goes bonkers. So the cotton gave us the right thing, but if you look, I don't know whether the camera can pick this up, we didn't quite have what we wanted, so we've coloured it in.
Yeah.
We just got, you know, pencils. And again, if you're going to put felt tip pens on there, you need to test on a scrap first, make sure it doesn't bleed. But I think these are pencil crayon, and then ironing fixes loads of stuff, doesn't it? Absolutely. So, yeah, just finish it off with some beads. But that's given us like the little tonal effect in the middle of the flowers. And if it fades, you just draw it on
Do
again.
it again. And I like the idea of if you put flowers on it, you could almost put pot puree in it behind it and have it smelling as well.
A fab
like
idea.
a sensory thing.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But we wanted to, so this is a classic. So the technique, or the project, was the runner.
Right.
So that's what we wanted to do. But then we went, do you know what? Let's do something else to go with it. So if you don't want to do a runner, but you like it, just do a cushion or a pair of cushions.
Just turn this round and show everybody,
Yeah,
because I like
cotton
to see.
on the back.
Look at this.
So we do a mixture of stuff. So sometimes we'll do wool on the back because we're like purist wool and all the rest of it thing.
But you don't
and then
have
other
to,
times, so like if we were doing something as a kit, for instance, and it was going to have a high fabric requirement, we might put cotton on the back.
Absolutely.
But also what we're saying is, if you've got a piece of wool, right, which is not cheap, put cotton on the back and your wool goes twice as far, because we're only looking at the front.
Absolutely. You're going to show us little bits in a bit how you do it.
Yeah, with a few bits and bobs.
Now, I'm going to have to put this away and have a quick look at the next one, because otherwise I'll never get there.
Right.
So can I just have a look at, this is one of my favourites, is Etched on Your Heart. And this is, to me, absolutely stunning. I adore this because I can see family photos being put in here, all sorts of
really
things.
interesting to me that when you looked at this collection, you saw places that you know.
Exactly.
Where I did them as places I know, which
yeah.
means you at home can make this anywhere you want. So I'm just going to grab Bolton Abbey.
So I initially thought Whitby.
Yeah.
And then you said Bolton Abbey.
Bolton
And
Abbey.
I've been to both. But when we was talking, we were saying about how we could change this out and put maybe a part of the other one in.
Well, if you know an abbey structure like this and you want to recreate that, but it's not near water, make that green go further down or put a second green on instead of blue. It's entirely up to you.
And then this is what Anthea means here, is add this bit.
Yeah.
So add that bit to it.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of them. They all mix and match. So not just one collection, over all of them.
Yeah.
So this one is Once Upon a Time, this is, Etched on My Heart.
Yeah.
And this one is only $14.99.
15.
Oh, sorry, $15.99. It's like that next.
You've
Get
got
me
your
head down.
discounting already, haven't
Oh
you?
yeah, that's don't forget, when you shop, the code, and then make sure before you check out that you've logged into the Highlight website, and then you get one. So
Yeah. So you've got 5 projects in there that are all, to me, well, I say North Yorkshire, with the exception of, and you've just shown it, here we go, Bronte Parsonage, which is West Yorkshire, but we'll claim it. So you've got your Bronte Parsonage, and you know, if you're doing a gift for somebody who's a bookworm, what a great gift, because any bookworm is going to go bonkers over at Bronte Parsonage, aren't they? They're going to know exactly.
I love all the slow stitching you've got in there. I need to check one thing. Do they also get the 10% on other people's as well, or is it just us? That's so good, because normally they're really picky, aren't they? Oh, you can only have it with them, so you get more. But I love the slow stitching on that. So what you can do is do the main body. Oh, I'm taking over here.
Would you like it again?
Yeah, please. What you can do, I need to show you this, because this is so, I just find this absolutely inspirational.
Your enthusiasm is wonderful.
Well, it's true, because I love stitching. But here, you could do the main body and then roll it up. And as you say, you go on a bus, whatever, you're on a journey, then you can take your time to mindfully do this and do it really nice and slow. So you don't have to rush any of it. Do your French knots, do your little seed stitches, do your running stitches, and then intermittent with these lazy daisies and stuff. So you've got all these different fabrics.
I love that it's brought out. So we've put this brown on to frame it like a picture, and then, you know, just come out into the picture and don't be like constrained by that border. come over it.
Stuff him. So it's like stump work. So you could almost have it like 3-dimensional over it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you just, make them a bit bigger to allow for the thing.
Yeah.
We've given you this composition. We've told you what we do with it, but what you do with it is completely up to you.
And as you said before, when I look at it, I see something. When the viewer look at it, they see something, you see something. And that's where the beauty is. You've given them, I always like to say this, Anthea, that we give them the ingredients to make their own recipe.
Yes.
And I love that because it's mine then, not just a copy.
I really like that, because...
It's true, isn't it?
We do. We do. Yes, you do. I do. Whatever.
No, we do.
But do you know what? We're saying we. I get ideas from people at home as well. So you give me ideas, and then we do stuff, and I give it back to you, and then it changes again.
And that's what it's about. That's why we were saying at the beginning how mindfully this is such a great respite. It's great respite for a lot of people.
Yeah.
As you know, I suffer with mental illness, and the problem is people don't always see it, but when you sat there and you're stitching quite peacefully, you're getting all that wonderful mindfulness, but you're also calming down and stuff. So it's a win-win, but that's only me, that's nobody.
Well, you've just parked your problems, haven't you? They're still there, but they don't have to be with you all the time, and that is one of the wonders of crafting.
Can we see, please? I want to see little bits how you do it.
Of course we can.
Right, Anthea was showing me this before, and I was like, can we show that? Can we show that? Can we show that? And she went, what? And I went, all of it.
Everything.
Because I think once you see it, it's a bit like working with paper or mixed media. You get to see that there's no difference in this. It's just a different substrate.
Yeah, right. Because
I'll get
we've
over
already.
here.
Are
you coming here?
Hang on a sec. Because we've already talked about the potting shed,
yes, please.
I'm going to start with the potting shed, and then we can come into this and then introduce this.
I'm going to move over here.
So with the potting shed, what we've done is housekeeping. You've got this little wall hanging in there.
This is what it's like at home, so no housekeeping, please. That's a rude word. You're swearing now. Behave yourself. Right.
Housekeeping, what's that? It's what they do in hotels.
No.
It's not something that happens at home.
No.
So you've got in here, I'll just have a flick. So you've got all your different vessels, let's say. So you've got walking boots, and you've got plant pots. There you go, plant pots, watering cans. You've got all those different
buttons,
brilliant
buttons. How to fasten your clothes and stuff for littlies.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you've got your different vessels, right? And I've got just a couple of others here. Now this little wall hanging here, there's no reason why you couldn't have a line of wellies, or a line of watering cans, or one of each. Right, there's no reason at all. So what you've done, and this is kind of the whole Quilting Antics, the whole thing, mix and match anything. So what Sue's done here, and we've used a product called In Our Form, which is by Bozel, the Styleville. There's all sorts of other things that give you this kind of free form applique.
I'm so going to look into this because I've not heard of that.
Yeah. So
well, I have, but I've not seen it.
The beauty of these products is that it's thicker. It stands up on its own. It's got its own legs, if you will. It doesn't need, like in the traditional sense of applique, to be on a background. If we just grab one of those little creatures there,
absolutely,
any one you want.
We've got this one with wings.
Yeah, yeah. So look at this. This is, it's doing its own thing. These are in potting shed as well. Wild World.
They're
just a bit of fun, aren't they? I mean,
they're perfect.
We did a whole family, but these are free form. These just fun. What you might find in your garden.
So these are in here then?
Yeah, they're all in there. There's more. We did like.
There they are. Look in the potting
so we've
shed.
got Grandma. Where's Granddad? He's probably gone off to have a nod. Oh, he's still over there.
Nod, behave.
Granddad.
He's having a
so
grandma
butterfly, Granddad caterpillar, Mummy bee, Daddy ladybird. The sun is our logo. In actual fact, the daughter. Oh, she's precocious.
Yeah.
Sister Spider. Fancying herself in a mirror.
Oh, yeah.
And then Uncle. That word that Peter Kay uses for his uncle.
I'm not saying how else. Yes.
Yeah. So that's Uncle. But what I'm saying is these are free form, and these are done in the same way. Now, all of these you could do in the traditional sense of applique.
So people who do it already know what that is.
You could do it that way.
Right.
But the purpose here is, look at this kind of 3D-ness. You've got, it lifts off the page, it's layered and it's raised. You mentioned stunt work, there's also trapunto.
Oh, I love trapunto.
Yeah, and this is just an easy way. I mean, no stuffing from the back and all
that's
that.
so it puts people off. This is easy. But can you show me? Because I would
Yes,
do
I
this
can.
with drawings.
Right.
You're going to do a composition now this way.
So how we've done it is we use calico, great for scraps.
I love
just need
calico.
Pieces that big,
You
whatever.
can draw on it and
For
paint
that,
on
you
it.
need that, that piece. That's all you would need, something that big. So use your calico and trace the pattern through. So what we've done here is just the leaves, and then you would get some green fabric. Obviously, you would iron yours.
Never ever waste any of this.
Well, look at this.
Beautiful.
It's all tatifilarious, but it's fine for this job. So this is fusible, so I'd iron that on. And if it isn't fusible,
You'd get a few out of that.
Of course you would. Of course you would.
And you can use both sides to get different colours.
So I've either fused or I've tacked this on. So I've made a little sandwich there.
Yeah.
And then go back to your sewing machine and sew on these lines. Now, the thread that shows is your bobbin thread, so you've got to make sure it's wound properly.
And your tension's right.
If you're no good with your winding your bobbin, because some of us,
it gets
loopy,
loopy,
when you've got your bobbin and you tap the side of it, it should be tappable, not spongy, right? If you can't wind a bobbin properly, and lots of us struggle, buy pre-wound. Yeah, and so on this project, it's going to be your bobbin thread that shows on the right side.
That's really interesting to know.
So you need to just be aware of that. So you take that to your sewing machine, and then you've got a line to stitch on. So you're not having to wonder about where your 1/4 inch is, because we're just sewing on the line, and you can even put the stitch detail on.
Do you know, I've got dodgy hands sometimes, and I find it hard. You don't have to stay to that line, do you?
That's right. So, and if you've made a hash of drawing it, when you're stitching it, just stitch in the correct place. You can scribble bits out and redraw them.
But if you use that heat transferable pen that you can get rid of, you can just make out that was the right line.
No, gosh, no. Don't use a heat. No.
No, don't.
Don't use a heat.
Why? Tell me.
Right, because if you've spent ages drawing this out, right, and then you're going to iron to fuse it on there, what's going to happen to your drawing?
It's going to disappear.
Tell her.
Yeah, but you could put it back on later, couldn't you?
Yeah, but you won't be able to see through.
No, that's true.
So you need just a biro.
That's really good, because I would have done that at home and gone, oh.
And you would not be the first by any stretch of the imagination to do that.
Not a daft question.
Not at all, absolutely not. I mean, I once sat in a class and people were drawing this really big thing out, and Erica, she won't mind me mentioning her, put the iron on it, but my drawing's gone. She'd spent ages tracing this thing out, and it had gone.
So you need to make
sure. But then because you've fused it together, you can't. You can peel it back and stuff, but it's not what we want to do, is it?
No.
So you've drawn on there just a biro. You've fused it to your in-our-form Styleville or whatever product you're using. Then you're going to put, and don't forget, if you're not using the fusible versions, clip it, pin it, tack it, whatever it is you need to do. Sew on your lines. Once you've sewn on your lines, just with your scissors, cut out. So let's say your drawing wasn't perfect. You've corrected that line when you've been sewing. Let's say your sewing wasn't perfect. You can correct it with your scissors. Because if you've got a gap, I mean, you probably would get away with a tiny gap, but just re-sew it. It's really not going to matter, because what you can do when you start building your stuff up, so you've got, let's say that I haven't sewn properly on that line. So I've got my vessel, in this case a watering can. I've put my leaves on the top. Let's say this bit over here doesn't look very nice. Well, you can't see it now. I've just dealt with that.
It's just like somebody putting a butterfly on it.
Exactly. And the flowers, we've got a few different types of flowers. I mean, these were probably a bit more fiddly because you put the white on and then you really got to cut back in with your scissors. If you don't want to go as fiddly as that, go with the bigger ones. And there's a few different sorts. Now, if it's yellow, it's a...
I don't know. Primrose. I wondered what you would...
If it's red, it's an nasturtium.
Or orange.
Exactly, orange.
And that leaf is a proper shape for a nasturtium.
Exactly. You've got more... So you're mixing and matching here with the whole way through. So all these flowers can be you know, more than one thing. So you are...
Hang on. Can you decoupage them as well?
You probably can. You probably can.
You can make some of these.
Yeah.
You could even put white. Anyway.
Yeah. So you've got, well, you're just layering up. So so this pink plant pot here, let's just change its colour over and just see what a difference it makes when you do a blue flower pot, or you've got your wellies and you want to just, where's my leaves? Put your, you know, so straight away I've tidied up the top of my welly. Totally. Or I might think, oh no, I've spent too long making that top of that welly nice. I'll have my flowers here and some stalks.
No, totally.
But, you know, you can just build it up. And all these in this collection, you know, the flowers and stuff, that is what you would do. You would just build up your elements. They've all been done the same way. So stitching on your own drawn line.
I really like it. This colour as well.
Yep, so they've all started out just drawing. And if you're using calico, you probably don't need to sellotape to a window or a light box because you can probably see through it. In fact, I'm never using the light box. In fact, I've no time to get up and get it. So that's kind of the essence for all the things. So you've got your daisy roots, you've got your book cover over there, same technique, your welly, same technique, this, same technique. The wheelbarrow even uses this technique.
Absolutely.
But if you prefer to do a flat applique, you can, but look at the texture and the depth in these.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I can see adding water resistant paints and stuff, or add my own bit to it. Absolutely stunning. So if you want this, the code to use is SHED, and this is $24.99. It is an absolute mine of information. It's beautiful. Shall we do the quiz, please? Right, I've got the second one. Would you like to read this one?
Oh my gosh.
Go on then, you do it.
Let me get my speckles.
Get your gigs on, love.
Blind as a bat. Right then.
Right.
This
Number
one.
2, yeah.
Right.
It's not 14 font for you. We said that before.
Yeah,
anything
my
14
designs
and
are
above.
minimum 14 font. What is the first name of the Italian tenor Pavarotti?
Oh, tricky my name.
Yeah, I've just read answer and I think I knew that, but if I hadn't read answer, I'd be going,
oh, I know him, I know him, like that.
What's he called? Yeah. Oh, I feel like I've arrived now. I've read a question.
Hey. So the first question was, Mount Rushmore is located in the US state of South. And question 2, Anthea's just done really well, is what is the first name of Italian tenor Pavarotti? So, can we have a little chat about the downloads, please, the PDFs?
Yes, we can.
Please, because we might have other people wanting other things. I want to do it all, but I'm only...
Right, so downloads is very new to me. I've only just started doing them in the last few weeks. So what I've been doing is like frantically like changing the format of everything, so it will be. So downloads, we've talked about our pattern books being on A3. Your downloads are A4, so I've like juggled things about on the page so that it all fits or whatever. And if I've had to split over 2 pages, I've put a clear line, a join line, so that you've got like a good bit above and then it matches with a good bit below on the other, so you can quite clearly see where your join lines are. I think they're fab. No postage. No. And, you know, you can download now. You can download now, and where I've given you an instruction like, make yourself a set of pattern pieces, download again, cut them out.
You've got no bits of paper hanging.
Exactly. Just go for it. And then when you've finished and you've scribbled on it and, you know, dogs walked over it or whatever, get rid of it, save it on your device, download again if you ever want it again. I mean, it's just the gift that keeps on giving.
When you did an earlier show with Mel, did you have him on that show?
We did.
Right,
we did.
So if people want to see that, if they go to the earlier show, will they see some bits on there? Or
sorry, I think I've just answered the wrong question, sorry.
No, you know, like this morning with Mel.
Yeah.
Did you have any of this on the show? Did you show any?
Yeah.
Right,
so we were going to split the whole show between the 2 hours, and then when we got in there, it just went, let's just do it.
So the PDFs can be seen on the first show if you want to see them. But there's...
So we've got the Once Upon a Time, the whole book.
You go that way, I'll go this way.
The whole book is on a PDF. You can have the whole thing, everything. So you get all the extras and the lot.
So on a PDF, straight downloadable, straight to you, instant.
Yeah, no postage to pay, download as many times as you want. The potting shed, we have the journal book cover, the Daisy Roots, and the cushion, they're available on the PDF download.
Perfect.
And then in Etched on My Heart, we've got the cushion pair. Now, as we go on, and I've got more into it, there'll be more done on the PDFs. But for now, I mean, I'm burning midnight oil like crazy trying to get caught up.
I think
So,
people want to do
a
it
good
all.
start there.
I think people want to do all this, but the problem is they'll get to a point and then they feel like it's too late to carry on.
So moving so like what we were doing up to like the end of last year is we were designing on A3, and if we had a design that went across the whole thing, so where are we here? Sunny Jim, for instance, we've got a huge leaf there, and it's going across, more than one A4. Now we're not going to change the thing about making bigger things. But what we're going to do moving forward is, head on, let's think about A4. So that's where we'll be going in the future. So what I'll be doing is going, right, I've designed that in A4, straight to a PDF, and then I can bring you the whole collection as individuals. So it's building, it's on a slow burn, is this.
So you're giving us all the different sizes so people can do it smaller or bigger?
Yeah. Now, something else that's also happening is I am working with your team here. Yeah. And
on the 22nd of March.
Yeah, we'll come to that. But I'm working with your team here around the scan and cut as well.
Oh, yeah, right.
So that moving forward, as many of our designs as possible, you would also be able to use with your scan and cut. And when we are in a position to bring you wool,
ta-da! Mel did this earlier on with the scan and cut. So I don't pretend to know anything about this because I just know how to turn that machine on. But so in future, moving forward, these patterns will be able to use with the scan and cut.
So we know, I'm like Lou, I'm not going into specifics of what Mel did because I do not understand this machine. But what this piece of evidence here shows us is that you can. Whatever it is, you can. We just need to work out how and teach people properly. But that's all coming down the line, isn't it? We know we've got it.
Mel's the person to do this.
So that's where we're working towards.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah.
But we've got something else. So this is moving forward. We're giving you sneaky peeks here. What's happening on 22nd?
Well, on the 22nd, I'm coming down here and I'm going to teach a workshop. Yeah.
I'm going to try my best to get here. And I really am because I want to do it. Oh, I'll be your floor wiper. I don't care.
I'm not saying these are the projects.
No.
But where we've done the freeform applique, that's where I'm going with the class. So we will learn how to do the freeform applique. So
I can see someone I know in that. It's like it's like my mum with the rollers in.
Yeah. Oh. So where these are, there's a lot to these. What I'll probably do is come on the day, do something difficult, and then give you a next stage one as well as.
I think that's a perfect thing.
Did I say something difficult? I meant something not difficult.
Well, no,
I came out wrong.
I think that once you've given people the skills, you can then go away and do it. So sometimes difficult is good.
Yeah. So like this one here is quite simple. I'm going to turn your page over because I want to tell you how we did this. Not because I think that the snail is the best one in the collection, but because this technique goes across everything.
That technique will be applied to this as well?
So he's drawn on the back, just like I showed you with the others. And we've put one piece on that goes the whole way over there and just extends up here a bit. And then what we've done is we've then put a piece of orange over the whole of that and up here. And then we've put a whole piece of brown on. And when we've put the brown on, you just stitch on your lines, and then you can get your scissors in the middle and just cut out that waist.
Do you know that was Elizabethan as well?
Was it?
Yeah, Elizabethan on the to show the sleeves.
Yeah. So but just get your little scissors in, and your stitching stops you from going beyond where you should. So in like 1, 2, 3 steps, you've done the whole
decoupage with fabric.
Exactly. Shove his, place gently his bow tie on.
Shove it on.
Shove it on, yeah. And then you can come in at the front and add little stitch details, little eyes and things like that.
What a great little...
beads.
So that's on the 22nd, is it?
Yeah. So it won't be these exact projects. I'll do something brand new for the day that's never been out before. Yeah, we'll do that, but it will be this method. And then you can take this and, you know, if you want to do a book cover, you just put her on and you just sew around her outside lines. I mean, she'd look great. You get her in the potting shed collection. So if you don't want the hiking boot, put her on instead. Your garden fairy, your very own garden fairy.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe.
Yeah.
She had so many children, she didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So can we have a quick look at this before?
Because
I know
time. Show. I've no idea what time we're at.
I haven't got a clue. I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Because I love this, because this is for all your room.
Right, so
this is what you
greatest
want to
show.
do.
We've not really looked at this one properly. So you've got in here a whole range of stuff to do with your sewing room. So you've got a bag that, I mean, that's got nothing to do with the circus, but we just thought we'd put it in, then you've got a bag. A bag that's a good size for taking to class. You've got a block keeper. I'll show you in a minute what one of those is. You've got a cutting mat bag. If you're taking these tricky things to class, or even just storing them at home, you want something that's going to keep them behaving. We put you a nice throw-in on the circus theme, just because you need something nice in your sewing room. You've got the roll up, the kind of sewing bucket. You can have him, you know, by your feet if you want, or you could just put sweeties in there.
You could do anything with that.
And then put a lid on so nobody else can see.
And with it being soft, it can go in a child's room and everything.
Exactly. It could be a toy bucket. And do you know what? I've just showed you the snail with this one, because you make that, and it's a flat rectangular piece, right? So we started out with white, and then just put the red on top of the white. So the white actually goes all the way around. So you're not cutting loads of strips and then stitching them together. It's one piece of white. I mean, Quilt Police, well, they'd faint if they came to Quilting Antics, I'll be right honest.
This is another way of doing it. You're making it easy, you're applying it and cutting back, aren't you? Yeah. Perfect.
Well, you don't have to cut these back, because you can cut them as stripes. You could cut back if you wanted. And then once you've got your stripy thing, then if you want to add the circus theme, you can do. But you don't have to add these. You could put the other things on. So you've got your
got a mixture of fabrics
just
there,
behind you on the chair.
Yeah.
There's a block keeper.
Right, now I mentioned that when I saw this, this is a portfolio.
It is. So
portfolio for your
as a
artwork.
quilter, take my elastic off there. We're using this to keep our blocks in. So when we're making a quilt, and you've got the mount board in there, so put them all in on that mount board. Shut your lid. There's the elastic on here as well, so that you can
I'd make that into a...
keep it shut there. Your blocks, because that mount board, oh look, we've been using up the leftovers again.
Well, I mean, it's endless, isn't it?
Exactly. But those there are going to stay there. Do you know, I love how she's done the audience. Just head and shoulders. I just love it.
I love the mixture of textures. I love the patterns. There isn't a pattern in the background.
Yeah. She's used this technique of the audience, a Sue, over here. Right, sewing machine cover. Let me turn it round.
I want to show you something on this. Can I just have a look at this?
Oh, yeah, of course you can.
Right. Now, you might think, oh, what's that about? But simple things like, how do you keep the lining in place? Because that, to me, it just finishes it off. But she was showing me, Anthea said, you put a sneaky stitch in each corner and it keeps it in. So you could do that with your bags. Yeah. But it's simple things like that.
But if you didn't want to go to the trouble of making a sewing machine cover, because you think, oh, it's a bit technical to get your sides in or whatever, just use this applique and do front, top, back.
Roll it over.
Plonk it over your place gently.
Plonk. I like
over
your
sewing
plonks.
machine. But yeah, the audience on this, I just love what she's done.
So
on the sewing mat, keep your nice table nice.
We've got to do one more question.
Let's do another question.
You do it next one.
Right, am I just reading the one or all lot?
No, read that one and I'll go over.
So question 3, what is the German word for Mr.? Oh.
Right, so question 1 was Mount Rushmore is located in which US state? South. Question 2 is...
what is the first name of the Italian tenor Pavarotti?
Number 3 is, what is the German word for Mr.? And it's a bit like that. Ow. Ow. Right, so...
That'll teach you.
It will. How long have we got left, guys? 5 minutes? No.
We've had like the best time.
Oh my, are we actually working? So
No.
can I just go through and give people some
course you can.
information? Because I did have it all written here. Right.
Okay.
But what you want, you've nicked it. Get off here.
Sorry.
It's all right. What I need to tell you is...
Shall I give you that as well?
Yes, thank you. Each collection comes with numerous extras and extras. So we're not just getting 4 or 9 or anything like that. You're actually getting multiples and multiples. So it works out, even what the first one was £42 if you added it up in downloads and all that. So really, I don't even want to add it up. So the first one we said was Etched in My... Oh, I love this one. It's
Etched on My Heart.
Etched on My Heart. You've got them all there.
Yeah.
And that is code ETCH, and that is $15.99. And that is so much more my favourite, I've got to say. The next one we've got is...
The Greatest Show.
The Greatest Show. Now, this is all for you at home in your lovely room or wherever. It could be a child's room, it could be anything. It's great, it's fun, but it's always, you can combine it with everything. And that is Shop Etch, and that is 24... No, it's not Shop Etch, it's Shop Great, and that's $24.99. And the next one we've got is for all our wonderful people who are, horticulturists. Now, it's hard to say. But
Good
think
try,
about
though.
it. Yeah, nice.
I'm impressed.
That was slick, that, wasn't it? And this one is Code Shed, and this is $24.99. And then our last one, but not least, is our wonderful Once Upon a Time.
We haven't held this up this hour, but in my 10 o'clock hour, we spent quite a lot of time on this, so just look back on that if you want to have a good look.
And this is a quilt, but it's not a quilt. This is the idea of, this is what you could do, but all the infinite things you can do. Like the castle can go with The Greatest Show. Like these trees here all go with Potted Shed.
Yeah.
It's just, the only thing, and this is cheesy, is stopping you, is your imagination. Seriously. And look at the PDF downloads that you've got on the previous show. And we've got Daisy, Cushion, Worms Village and Bolton. So they're the PDFs to see them on there, but we've also got them on here. But all these are all usable together. I can't tell you what an absolute dream it's been working with this material and seeing what you can do. And so just to clarify, if I'm a complete beginner, Anthea, I could then, what would I need to do with this booklet when I get it? What would I need to do?
Read your instructions.
Right.
So,
Good point,
I don't know about you, but I'm a
don't.
devil for reading the first line and the last line and then making it up in the middle. Read your instructions, that's your first thing.
Right.
If you're struggling, bob me a message on Facebook Messenger, that's the best way to get in touch with me.
Right.
I'm a bit rubbish on email because I'm overwhelmed. But so Facebook Messenger, bob me a message and I can
And what's
do
your
my
Facebook?
best. Quilting Antics.
On
Just
Facebook?
put into Google Quilting Antics and all my various things will pop up.
So any
there.
words or questions or anything like that?
Yeah.
And you can answer?
Yeah, I can bob you a message across.
Excellent. So then what would they do? They would get this and then read the instructions and then just step by step.
I think if you're watching this, I don't know whether you buy because you like one project and you think, I'm going to get the book, or whether you just like the flavour and you want to absorb it for a bit. People do. We all do different things, don't we?
Of course we do.
So however you decide to do it, just enjoy it.
We can use all sorts of... You use wool, but we don't have to do that.
You don't have to. Well,
different fabrics.
We're using cottons.
Stash builders.
We're using velvet.
Busters.
Yeah.
And I like
we
that.
use it all.
Oh,
all
yeah.
the different...
But you have to think about what it's for. I mean, I always say it's got to be fit for purpose.
Yeah.
So if you want something strong and sturdy and to stay, square, it'd be quite difficult to do that and stretch. You could do it, but you need to think, well, where am I doing it? What's it for? Who's going to use it? So those things. And I think it's quite easy once you start to see the patterns where you can go. You can build your own stories. I see so much, and he's just so cute.
I really like that thing, build your own story. That is just a really great thing, because if you've got Once Upon a Time, why can't you put it on this kind of cushion? I mean, you don't need to buy the whole book to know that you just joined two pieces of fabric together.
No.
So I'm not laughing there. But where, you look at a piece of this and you go, oh, I know what we can do.
Stage.
Oh yeah, with some curtains.
Stage. And you could have that in the back. Once
Yeah.
Upon a Time, and they
I
could
like
make their
that.
own little... Oh, yeah.
Hey, she's good, isn't she? You'd think you'd done this before.
I just get enthralled by all the inspiration.
Yeah.
Can we use felt?
You can use felt. I mean, don't forget that depending on your quality that you use, it's not as strong on seams and things. But for your applique, absolutely use felt.
I think that's a good idea for some people, isn't
yeah,
it?
definitely.
But yeah, I mean, obviously there's different sorts of felt as well.
Yeah, but you get what you pay for.
You do.
And as I say, as you say, like if I'm going to do something, right, a cutting mat bag made out of felt, I wouldn't want my seams to like fall to pieces, you know, if I'm going into class and it's every day and I've overloaded my bag, which we all do.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to think, but for the decoration, perfect.
So can we have the winner, please?
Ooh.
And the prize is a download of any choice.
A download of your choice. So
That's really generous of you.
Thank you.
Winner is Debbie Hood.
Debbie Hood, well done. Download.
Well done, Debbie.
Yeah, I mean, get in touch. We'll let you know. But I've loved this.
Yeah.
And we're out of time now. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Loved it. Loved it. So bye from us. Take care.